Hello, you're watching News Mongolia and MNB World. I'm your host, Ayundel Basenko. Our top stories. The government will present a draft law on a mineral exchange. 1,744 new cases of COVID-19 and 16 deaths confirmed on Thursday. Academic conference commemorating the 100th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and Russia held. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health reported 1,744 new COVID-19 cases on Thursday based on PCR testing. Health officials say the Delta variant is the most common among the public with a variety of symptoms.
The common symptoms of the Delta variant of COVID-19 are a cough, fever, headache, with the addition of loss of smell and taste. But some are mild symptoms that resemble the seasonal flu. On Thursday, the Ministry of Health announced additional 1,744 coronavirus cases confirmed by PCR testing. The ministry also reported 16 deaths. All of them were caused by chronic illnesses combined with the COVID-19 virus. The total number of COVID-19 reported cases in Mongolia is now over 342,000, with more than 1,500 deaths. The capital city of Ulaanbaatar is regularly seeing the highest number of COVID-19 cases. On Thursday, it saw 917 cases. Also, a high number of cases were reported from the provinces, which was 827. The hospitals informed us that 50% of the total hospitalized patients are displaying mild symptoms, but 2% or 386 patients are in critical conditions that require intensive care and treatment. Among the hospitalized patients, 19% are children under the age of 18, and 7% are pregnant women. In addition, around 51,000 patients are being treated and isolated at home at this moment. The vaccination rollout for the third shot is still ongoing. The public is highly encouraged to take the shot. According to statistics, 65% of the total population has received the second dose of the vaccine, but the number of people who got the booster shot is around 376,000. According to the Johns Hopkins University, the global number of COVID-19 cases is at around 241 million at this moment. The number of fatalities has reached nearly 5 million. The country with the highest number of confirmed cases is the US with 45 million, followed by India with 34 million cases.
The Cabinet of Mongolia held its regular meeting on October 20th and made several decisions. Details of the meeting from the following report.
The Minister of Mining and Heavy Industry addressed the establishment of a mineral exchange and ordered relevant ministers to urgently prepare for the presentation of a draft law on the mineral exchange to the Parliament of Mongolia. The government of Mongolia is working to establish a mineral exchange for the following reasons: to oversee the profits and sales of mineral products, to centralize profits gained from mineral resources which are specified by the Constitution of Mongolia as state and public property in the National Wealth Fund, to assess the value of mining products in accordance with standards of the international market for the purpose of distributing profits fairly and equally, to increase the profit gained from mining products. Some of the main subjects of the draft law are the ownership status of the exchange, a quality audit for the mineral products to be exchanged in the market, and appropriate taxes. The government of Mongolia formed the National Committee on Climate Change and Reduction of Desertification and approved its members. The committee will focus on organizing and overseeing the 1 Billion Trees National Campaign and will fulfill Mongolia's obligations under the UNFCCC's Paris Agreement and UN Convention to Combat Desertification. Moreover, the committee will coordinate working sectors' action on desertification and environmental pollution.
Thank you for staying tuned with us on MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
On October 19, 2021, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, the Mongolian Academy of Sciences, the Bank of Mongolia, Irtint Mining Corporation, Ulaanbaatar Railway, the Mongolian Alumni Association of Baikal State University, and the Embassy of the Russian Federation in Mongolia co-organized an academic conference under the theme 100 Years of Cooperation between Mongolia and Russia, dedicated to the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Speaker of Parliament Zandan Shatar opened the academic conference and delivered a speech. During his speech, he highlighted the past century as the century of the fight for independence and freedom, joint struggle to overcome the challenges and to achieve great development, strengthening the friendship and peace through active cooperation in every sphere of society. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, Mrs. Batsitsik, commemorated the accomplishments made in various fields, including science, technology, education, art, humanity, and noted the plans to organize high-level meetings in accordance with the Joint Action Plan to celebrate the 100th anniversary. During the conference, scientists, researchers, and officials from both countries presented 23 different presentations on bilateral trade, cooperation in the economy, energy, humanitarian, and education sectors.
Now let's check on the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. The meat export to China has been halted since July of this year. Therefore, it is estimated that a sufficient amount of meat supply can be prepared for the domestic market for the upcoming winter.
The Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry proclaims to keep the meat price in balance and believes it to be possible since there will be enough domestic meat supply due to the border closure. The downside is that Mongolia has lost some of its profits that could have been gained from meat exports to China.
The COVID-19 virus was detected from packages of export products. It caused meat export between the two countries to be temporarily interrupted. In order to solve this situation, products should not be carried by hand. And we are examining our procedures to improve sanitation.
Now the meat is being transferred straight into freezers for the domestic winter meat supply. The state has made an agreement with 17 entities that have high freezer capacity. Those entities are allowed to obtain loans with a 10.68% interest rate and have started their meat freezing operations. Around 7% of the interest will be paid by the government, and remaining 3% will have to be paid by the entities themselves. The frozen meat will be sold to the general public in the upcoming spring using designated sale areas as instructed by the Mayor's Office of Ulaanbaatar City. A total of about 15,000 tons of meat is planned to be stored in the capital this year. 60% of the meat will be mutton, 30% will be beef, and 10% will be goat's meat. Also, all 21 provinces received a state order to store 5,500 tons of meat each. They will choose their own organizing methods based on their capacity.
And here's the weather forecast for major cities around the world. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for staying tuned with us on News Mongolia. See you tomorrow with more stories and updates. Have a great evening. Goodbye.